So to go with the sparkly new Vise, I need a sparkly new stop. I'm going to make an adjustable stop that screws in here with an arm and then a rod going through. So I was going to make a clamp on the top, but I can't quite get my head around that at the minute. Not sure. Maybe I'll make one of those in the future or next time. I've checked these threads and they're M8. And I've I've assembled some assorted bits and bobs. Got a bit of 8mm drill rod, so that's ground to size, not that we're doing anything precise. A nice little chunk of stainless, a lovely bit of brass, and a bit of old thick flat hot rolled, that I hope machine's okay. We'll find out, won't we? See what we can do. So we've got the stainless in the old Atlas lathe, bless it. We're going to give this a bit of a run up today. I'm just going to face that off. Let's just take a very, very light cut. Just to square that end off. And now we can touch on the outside diameter. Just there. And we need to mark how long the thread's going to be. It's going to screw in to the vise, so we need to mark 15mm off on this. Mark that off there, look. Your vernier, give yourself a little line, and I'll just make that mark a little bit stronger with the tool, so that's upset me. There we go. It's upset me OD bit. So now what I'll do, I'll take a very light pass, and we'll look at what size we need to make it. So that is currently 15.74. Nice and convenient. We need to machine that down to 8mm. I won't bore you with that, so I'll catch up when I'm about there. We're just taking 20 thou cuts, which is half a mil, but it's a mil off the OD, obviously. And we'll just take a final light finishing cut, a little bit of oil on, just like that. That takes us down to size, ready to take that M8 thread in the corner, bring that out, and I'll just break that corner on the large OD and give myself a bit of a chamfer on there. So now we can use our tailstock tap holder to start cutting the thread for us. You just put a little bit of pressure on there and give the chuck a few gentle turns to get it started. And then we're golden. Let's just finish that off by hand. And there we go, look. And should have us a nice M8 M8 thread ready to screw it into the vise. Yeah, no worries there. So now we can spin that around and we can machine the other end, as we need to put that M8 thread on to take a locking nut, and we also need a 10mm little shank to fit through the component that this bolts onto. So we'll get that spun up in all due course. So that's the other end done. The thread's cut quite nicely. What we need to do now is take this part over to the milling machine. Oh, excuse that. And I'm going to machine a couple of flats on this so we can screw it in and out of the vise should we need to. Okay, so upon inspection, I've realised I didn't put a relief at the bottom of this thread, didn't machine a little cut out there, so when we screw this in, it won't go all the way in. I'm going to pop back over to the lathe and do that quick off camera. And so with that relief cut and some still dodgy but slightly better lighting, you can see that that screws all the way in. So now what I need to do is machine a couple of flats so we can fit it with the spanner and our fingers, we can get it nice and tight. Okay, so we've got it set up in a collet block to machine this flat on it. We've touched on this face and then we've moved in accordingly to find the centre. Yeah, we've took off half the diameter of the cutter and we've gone in half the length of this section, and then we've come down and we've touched on the top, and we're going to take a cut. We know that that measures 16mm and we want to measure 13mm, so we need to take a 1.5mm off the length of the stock. Yeah, no problem. Set the cutter at 500, 600 I think actually. Everything's zeroed down, and we're just going to take, so we go for a 20th hour cut, so 0.5mm cut, remembering that we want to end up at a 1.5mm cut to give us the size that we need. I'm just going to lock the x-axis, bear with, it's fiddler in a minute. There we go, that's locked, and away we go. See how this goes. Got brand new high speed steel 4 flute end mill in there. Oh yeah, that's quite, no wrong with that. So we'll go down another 0.5 mil or thereabouts, come back, shaky take it, and we'll go just under 0.5 mil to leave us a little finishing cut, which should be about there. A little bit of oil. Remember, we are cutting stainless steel. I think we could run that cutter a lot faster. I need to check my maths. Let's have it up a bit. There we go. That's 1200. Twice as fast. Beautiful. Look at that. That's the way to do it. So now we can take the quill back out of the way. We can turn this round in the vise. Bear with, a bit fiddly with one dodgy finger. So we can turn this round, and I positioned it dead on the end of the vise jaws. So we'll repeat that. Now if it only had a vise stop, we'd be laughing, wouldn't we? And then we can repeat that cut, those cuts, to get this to size. I'll do one pass and then turn the camera off, finish it off camera. So I'm going to try the new speed, 0.5mm cut. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. So there's one part made. What you didn't see, I don't think the camera will pick up, is it flying out of the collet holder, because there's a little bit of damage on one of the edges. There, next to my thumb. It's really, you're going to struggle to pick up on it, because it won't focus on me for some reason. But anyway, got a little bit of damage there. We're only holding on this, and it wasn't enough really, so looking back I should have maybe done these first or something, done a different series of operations, but that's one part made. Now we can crack on with the rest. Yeah, we're just going to spin a bit of brass up, kind of move it to the Harrison, make a lot of mess over there instead of on the outhouse, face that off, and then we're going to drill it and tap it M8 to fit on that stainless mounting stud that we've just made. So that's that drilled at 6.8. I'm running a nice machine tap in, so there's no need to back it off or we'll clear the chips. That will spiral it out for us. Then we can run it faster and backwards to clear that before getting the knurling tool on the job, giving it a little bit of a knurl so we've got something to grip hold of. And now we'll just profile the back of it, ready to pot it off and call it a finished part. And just break the corners with a little needle file. So there's another part made. That's the thumb screw that's going to lock the arm once it's fitted. Fits on there alright, it's quite stiff actually. Firm I'm going to call it, not stiff, sorry. So then this arm is going to go on there, and so on and so forth. So now we can move on to making the next part. I've just cut this bit of hot rolled stock down. I actually found it in my lathe when I bought my new to me. When I bought the Harrison lathe, this bit of metal with it came with it. It's just a bit of old shit, but it'll do lovely for this. There's a good bit of metal in there, so I'm just going to use that same 4-flute 10mm cutter that I used on the other part to take this off flat, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to mill it down to size, and then we can look at putting a hole in some slots in it. Okay. So we're going to run a cut. I've tried to do a 4-width cut, but the machine's not happy. I'm going 20 thou, so half a mil, with a 4mm end flute, running about 1200 RPM, and we're going to go down and back again. A little bit of oil on there, and everyone's happy. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to make this 25mm, and it's considerably bigger at the moment. So I'm going to mark it off at 25mm. Something like this, only better because I won't be on camera. And then I'm going to cut it with a cutting disc to get it about right, and then finish it off in the mill. Save all that milling. I mean, look at that stock. You don't want to mill that off. Christ on a bike. So we'll cut it out rough, if you like, with the cutting disc, and then finish it off in the mill. Okay, so we're on board with the second piece. Sorry, the second cut on this piece. Quite a deep cut now, because quite a deep cut. Look at that. We've increased the speed even more. 1670 we're running at. And we're taking a 40 thou cut, and we're going to work our way through this until we get down to that 25mm scribe line. So we're ready to cut a slot between these two holes. We've found this edge, we've just touched on, and then we've gone in half the diameter of the cutter, this case 5mm, on the dial, just on the dials. That gives us the edge, and then we've gone half the thickness of the material, which is 12.05 on the just on the dials on the hand wheels, like I say, and that finds us the centre of the part. To find the edges of these holes, I'm going to go from one extreme to the other. So we've just done something that's quite accurate, and now I'm just going to eyeball it. We're doing a 10mm slot. We have drilled the holes 9.5mm, so I can look down the flue. I can't show this on camera, but I can look down the flue to this cutter, and I can see when it is just past the hole. Yeah, just past the outside edge of the hole. I could do it on the hole like that and plunge a little, go between the two. That'll do it. So whichever takes your fancy. I could edge find this end, come in the distance to this mark, to the centre of this, and then travel the length of the slot that I want to make it super accurate. Don't need to do that on this. Just going to do a bit of plunging and going between the two holes. So this is all that we need to do. Just sink in a bit. Might vibrate a little bit as I do this, so we'll see what happens. And go between the two. A little bit squealy. Put a bit of oil on and slow our feed down. Then you can join me when I'm further along. So here we go, here's all the parts. Now, I'm not going to lie, this nearly beat me, this part. For some reason, I don't know what meteorite this steel bit got dropped in on, but it work hardens like you would not believe. The surfaces inside this will withstand re-entry. And I've ruined, look at that scuff mark, I've ruined 4 high-speed steel cutters trying to get this slot cut. But anyway, there we go. We've got the body, we've got the drill rod, which will be used to stop against the jobs in the vise. I'll show you when it's assembled. I made a little thumb screw to lock that in place. We've got the screw, nut that holds it all together, and a little stainless adapter. I'll give everything a good clean up, put it together, and I'll show you on the vise. So here we have it in all its glory. I elected to heat blue this, so I heated it up with the oxyacetylene until it turned blue, and then plunged it in oil. I dare say it's got even harder. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to remember for future projects. But it does the job. It tightens up. You can set your stop. So if you're working a certain part, maybe you're doing the same thing in from the end more than once. So you put it against the stop, clamp it down, do the job, take it out, turn it round, or turn it round this way, or put another one in, you know, do the same job, same operation. Maybe you're milling to length, so you're over the end, you're end milling this, side milling that to get the right length. So you set your stop, put it where you want it, push your stop through, tighten it up, go to there, this is all set, cut, next piece, out, in, cut, next piece. There you have it. The handy dandy, copied by many, including myself. It's not my design, they're all over the place. Just thought I'd have a go at making one. Thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, please hit subscribe. Check out my friends in the description below. Stay safe, lots of love everyone.